The title of this video is called The 3 Phases of a Narcissist Relationships. And I'm doing it because someone is getting ready to embark on a new relationship, and I think it's good that some people know what's happening so they can pinpoint it. So basically, a relationship with a narcissist has been compared to being on a roller coaster with immense highs and immense lows. They have been described as the proverbial Jekyll and Hyde. One way one minute, another the next. Most people get into relationships for love and the need to connect and bond with another person. Narcissists get into relationships with people for an entirely different reason. They are not capable of feeling love, and they lack the ability to connect and form normal attachment bonds with others. Narcissists need people more than anyone because their entire sense of self-esteem and self-worth is dependent on the admiration of others. Their emotions are precarious balance of needing others and needing to be left alone. So if you have a narcissist in your life, you're very, very familiar with this. Narcissists feel an enormous void inside of them. That's why I say that I think that the only cure for a narcissist is a miracle from heaven above. This void is ever present, and the only thing that fills it is the love and esteem of other people. The fix is always temporary, though. One narcissist describes it this way, quote, "It's like my brain is constantly seeking something. It's like I'm always chasing a carrot at the end of a stick. Nothing I do satisfies me, at least not for long. I feel like I only do things because I'm supposed to, because society does it. I don't feel like I belong anywhere or with anyone." End quote. Narcissists are completely self-absorbed and are oblivious to the wants and needs of others. They enter into a relationship in an attempt to fill this void and to make sure that they have someone who is always available for sex, an ego stroke, or whatever need they may have. A relationship with a narcissist always follows 3 distinct phases: the over-evaluation phase, the devaluation phase, and the discard phase. So if you can pinpoint which phase you're in with your narcissist, then this video will help you. First phase, the over-evaluation phase. A narcissist is very careful when they choose a target. And each person that they've ever been with in their whole life has been a target, someone that serves a purpose. At the beginning of a narcissist's life, it may be, I'm going to talk about a woman narcissist, for example. It may be that she wants out of her parents' home. So she targets someone who she knows will get her out of the house. And she hooks up with them, and voila, the next thing you know, she's not living at home anymore. Typically, they will choose a victim based on their status. This person that they choose, they must be either attractive, popular, rich, or extremely gifted in some area. The greater the status, the higher the value the narcissist places on the supply they're hoping to get from that person. So then, once they choose their target, it's almost like the narcissist gets tunnel vision. They are hyper vigilant in their pursuit and will project the perfect image that their victim wants them to be. They are excessively caring, loving, and attentive at this stage. They shower their targets with attention, compliments, and they will literally sweep their target off their feet. They place their target on a pedestal, idolize, and worship them. Their target is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Here, the narcissist is ecstatic, full of hopes and dreams. They will talk and think about them constantly. They're euphoric. This is as close as a narcissist will ever get to feeling love. This kind of idolization is what others call infatuation. The victim is likely so caught up in all the attention, and they're usually thinking at this point that they have found their soulmate. Their pursuer is exactly what they want in a person. And this is because, now pay attention, this is because the narcissist is actually mirroring what they have learned their victim or their target wants. And their target or their victim can't believe how lucky they are and that this person who's pursuing them is still single. Or that the person that they're with doesn't want them anymore or treat them the way that they deserve to be treated. Believe me, narcissists will find another target before they leave a relationship that they're in the discard phase in. What the person doesn't know, the target doesn't know, is that they could never be prepared for what comes next. So the narcissist, they do all the right things, they say all the right things, they're just perfect when they're wooing someone, when they have honed in on their target and they are, it's like they use the most perfect bait to catch their little fish. Then what do they do once they catch their fish? Usually most of the time they will marry them. Narcissists are they're not the type of people who will just cohabitate with somebody and not be married to them. They have to get that commitment for what comes next, because what comes next is easier for them to perpetrate if they're in a marriage bond with someone. And that stage is called the devaluation stage. The over-evaluation phase usually lasts anywhere from a few weeks to a couple of months, just long enough for the narcissist to be confident that they have secured their target's love and devotion. And this is where you'll see people that get married quickly. They will push getting married quickly. These are people that will push to take you to Vegas to get married. Or, they'll do whatever they need. And if they're someone who's already hooked up with somebody, then because of their flattering of you, they will get you to pay for their divorce so you can be married to them. So, once they're confident that they've secured your love and devotion, unbeknown to their target, what they're witnessing in the early phase was a narcissist's false self. In the second phase, the mask comes off and the narcissist starts to reveal their true colors. The shift could be gradual or almost seemingly overnight. It just depends on how well of a target the narcissist chose. Suddenly, the attention they so lavishly gave you is gone, and in its place is indifference and silence. Days or weeks could go by and you won't hear from them. They won't return your phone calls. They don't keep any promises, and you're starting to suspect that they might be involved with another person. The target is left baffled and confused and wondering what they did wrong to cause such a turnaround. Narcissists, and if you're married to them, then what happens is you'll find that you're fighting all the time. The narcissist will pick fights with you because that is how they get their supply. Now, if they're lucky enough to hook another narcissist, then this little dance could go on forever. I've heard a lot of people that have been in situations like this where they say, oh, we can't live together, but we can't be apart. We just, our passion is so great that we just can't, So what causes this is that narcissists become bored easily. And that usually starts to happen in their heads at this stage, is that the void that they always feel inside of them begins to emerge again. The high that they were feeding off of is waning, and they begin to question your worthiness, that perhaps you weren't so special after all, because if you were, then they wouldn't be filling that void inside of them. So you'll see them become moody and agitated easily, blaming you for even the slightest transgressions. They start to disappear more frequently, and they give you the silent treatment in an attempt to create a distance. As the narcissist withdraws, the target starts to cling, and your demands for the narcissist's attention and your need to understand what's happening will grate on their nerves. The harder you cling, the more the narcissist will pull away from you. They start to blame and criticize you for everything, treating you like an emotional punching bag. At this point, the target or the victim is an emotional wreck. The narcissist has left without any explanation, and you can't figure out how 1 minute they put you on a pedestal and now it's like you don't even exist. The narcissist is a projector, and they are projecting their emotional turmoil onto you. They feed off of other people's misery, as long as it's caused by them, just as much as they feed off of your admiration. Either way, it makes no difference to him. It is this person, this cruel, indifferent, unfeeling sadist, that is the narcissist behind the mask, the true person behind the mask. Most targets desperately try to find the person they fell in love with. What they don't realize is that that person never existed. They were a facade, an act put on by the narcissist to secure their supply. The narcissist will take no responsibility for their actions because they simply don't care how they were treating you or how you were feeling. Narcissists are not capable of forming normal, healthy attachments to people. Those that aren't familiar with the disorder are completely at a loss to understand how unnecessarily cruel a narcissist's behavior can be. The target was never more than an object to the narcissist, whose usefulness is on the decline. Now, a narcissist isn't one to throw away a potential piece of supply, though. They will keep up this "I love you" or "I love you not" charade for as long as it suits them, and as long as the target allows it. They'll breeze in and out of your life as if nothing ever happened, completely oblivious and indifferent to your suffering. Most people, and this is something that a lot of people can relate to, is I've heard men talking about women that they've been with, and without even know that they're talking about a narcissist, but they'll say, "She just used me." I heard a story about one guy. This girl was done with her husband, and so she started, her and her husband had made friends with this gentleman and his wife, and for some reason they were thrown together a lot because their kids all hung out with each other. And so the narcissist woman was around this man all the time, and so whenever they were together, she would constantly put her husband down and say, he's just, he's doing this and he's doing that, and I'm not happy anymore, and he treats me so horrible. And the narcissist will always have a hard luck story, no matter what it is. Everyone abuses them. And then, of course, the man, he was having trouble with his wife, and the woman was a lot younger than him, and it stroked his ego. And she watched him long enough to be able to mirror exactly what she knew he wanted, and so she put the act on, and she did what she had to do, and kicked her husband out and hooked up with the guy, and he kicked his woman out, and then they got together. And it was a case of they got married really quick, and it wasn't even hours after they got married and back home into reality that the narcissist was saying things to indicate that they were in the devaluation stage. This mind meld, or messing with, is deliberate. And what will happen is the narcissist will keep feeding their target crumbs of attention, just enough to keep them emotionally invested and available to cater to their every need. At some point, one of two things will happen. Either they will find a new target and begin phase one with them, thus ignoring their old target completely, or the target will have had enough of their psychotic abuse and will take control and put an end to it, thus ushering in phase three. And phase three is the discard phase. It's almost baffling to watch the ease at which a narcissist can pull away from his partners. Many targets are left asking themselves, did they ever love me? Did I mean anything to them? A simple answer is no. No one means anything to them. Men are only a means to an end, to obtain the much-needed narcissistic supply. Once your usefulness has run its course, you will be discarded abruptly and cruelly without warning. Trying to get over a relationship with a narcissist is extremely difficult. Once it's over, the target is usually an emotional wreck whose self-esteem has been annihilated by the persistent demeaning behavior, insults, and cruelty of the narcissist. Depending on when they were able to break free, the target may be a shadow of their former self, and a lot of work ahead of them to rebuild their shattered self-image. So, on one hand, as the victim tries to pick up the pieces, what must be remembered is that you were deliberately targeted, lied to, and manipulated by a skilled con artist for their own gain. There was nothing you could have done differently, and none of this was your fault. The narcissist will repeat this pattern with every person, every time, bar none. All former targets must be vigilantly on guard because a narcissist always reserves the right to revisit a former source of supply, no matter how much time has passed or how badly they've behaved. Once you've broken free, you must close the door on any and all contact, because if you don't, you're headed back to a watered-down version of phase one. Lather, rinse, repeat. Join me on the next series for how to wound the narcissist fatally by ignoring them. Thanks, I hope this helped.